Wanted to start anew, then the Louisiana Territory is the best place for you. Louisiana offers new job opportunities and many daring expeditions. You can explore this vast new territory, jump into great economic opportunities, and live life to the fullest. The Louisiana Territory was originally owned by the French and managed by Napoleon. American farmers were afraid that France would shut out any person who wasn't French out of New Orleans. Since France owned Louisiana Territory and the city of New Orleans, this frightened the farmers, since they would no longer be allowed to ship and export goods in and out of New Orleans. Shortly after hearing about the dispute, Jefferson sent James Monroe to negotiate with Napoleon for the purchase of New Orleans at $7.5 million. Napoleon then sold the entirety of the Louisiana Territory, instead of just New Orleans, for double what the U.S. originally offered on April 30th, 1803. After its official purchase from France for $15 million, Jefferson sent Lewis and Clark to explore their newly acquired territory and beyond. The thing for paving the way for the great Louisiana Territory were the explorers. They risked their lives surveying the land and making sure that we could inhabit it. The greatest motivation for the explorers was to scout their newly acquired land, the Louisiana Territory. A second reason that the explorers traveled westward was to find the legendary Northwest Passage. If you didn't know already, the Northwest Passage was the route for the European explorers to travel from the west to Asia. Unfortunately, the Northwest Passage did not exist, like my sleep schedule. The Northwest Passage eventually led to the discovery of America and westward expansion. Also, the explorers wanted to make friendly contact with the neighboring Native American tribes. There were only a couple of challenges that the explorers faced. Some of these challenges included rowing against strong currents of the Missouri River, large occurrences of sore muscles, blisters, sunburns, getting bitten by animals, and facing illness. The explorers, believe it or not, settled in drumroll please. Hogwarts. Nah, I'm serious. No, obviously they didn't settle anywhere because they had to explore and report back to Thomas Jefferson about the land. Traveling 8,000 miles across the Louisiana Territory, they discovered enough information to map a route to the Pacific Ocean, which ultimately helped create the Oregon and Californian trails for future generations to travel on. They also helped establish relationships with the Western Native American tribes while providing valuable and priceless information about the West. There are two obvious legacies, being Lewis and Clark, but there's also another underappreciated legacy, Sacagawea, a Native American who translated for Lewis and Clark, helped them understand natives easier, and helped them create peace with other natives. Now on to Lewis and Clark's contributions. First, they led the expedition team and mapped uncharted lands, rivers, and mountains. They also brought back journals filled to the brim with information about Native American tribes and plant and animal species that were unknown to Americans at the time. The expedition team also brought back stories and tales of the dreams of other Americans moving west and what life would be to inspire others to populate the West. The U.S. acquired and explored these lands is cool, but now you need to know and learn about who truly settled on the Louisiana Territory, starting with the Mountain Men. Life on the edge, literally, or to have a thrilling and adventurous time, then joining the Mountain Men is perfect for you. The Mountain Men were originally called fur trappers because of their passion for hunting fur. Once they moved west, they became mountain men because of their unique lifestyle. Men's first motive to move to the west was the promise of rich and profitable beaver fur. Second, they wanted to revive the dying fur trading industry and make it popular again. Lastly, and probably the most important on the list, they wanted a life of freedom and adventure to explore the mountains. Travel to the Rockies was through the Oregon and Californian trails to the beaver-filled Rocky Mountains, or Rockies for short. They settled close to rivers so that in the fall and spring they could set up fur traps in the icy rivers. The first problem for the mountain men was just living a long life. It's certainly a small price to pay for such a free and adventurous lifestyle, an obstacle that the young traveler like yourself can surely overcome. Another problem the mountain men faced was the geological accidents that easily killed them. For example, a misstep off a cliff, unexpected landslides, or misjudgments of rushing river rapids. So you could say that they lived a hard rock life. So, many diseases harmed the mountain men, like dysentery, smallpox, measles, mumps, and influenza. They also suffered all other problems like cholera, mountain fever, and scurvy. They were also threatened by fur thieves, Native Americans, wolves, and bear attacks. Dying at a young age is not considered a bad thing for the mountain men. It is somewhat honorable. I want you to meet the legendary Hugh Glass. One day, Hugh Glass was having a great time walking around and hunting for computers when suddenly a mother bear attacked him. She rips and tears his flesh and feeds it to her cubs until he ultimately dies. Oh, what an honorable early age death. What a great example of the perfect mountain man. And a good example of a brave mountain man was Jim Beckworth. Jim Beckworth was an African-American mountain man who was kidnapped and forcibly adopted into the Native American Crow tribe. He bravely climbed up the ranks and became chief of the tribe by the time he had been in the tribe for 6 years. Now he could have stayed in the tribe, but instead he decided to rejoin the mountain men and tell his story and to inspire the other trappers. Oh, what a legend. He is also remembered discovering the lowest pass across the Sierra Nevada called the Beckworth Path in his honor. The biggest legacy of the mountain men were the stories that they left behind. Thousands of Americans love the adventurous and thrilling stories of the mountain men even to this day. But my biggest question would be, how did they even survive long enough to write and share their stories? If you want to go down in history as a brave American while still having fun and adventurous time, then joining the mountain men is the best choice for your Louisiana stay. This next topic is for the girls. Explore and form your family into mountaineers, well then pioneer through the western country as a woman. Pioneer women didn't just cook and clean. They braved the outdoors, protected their families, and left a path of charity every place they went. These women explored seeking a better life in the West for their families. Single women searched for homestead and husband. Single or taken, they worked to take hold of the better opportunities that the West offered. The women spread across the Western America, populating places in present-day America like Arizona, California, Colorado, Idaho, Montana, Nevada, New Mexico, Oregon, Utah, Washington, and Wyoming. Clearing wagon trails through the unknown lands of Western America was a very large feat. They had limited wagon space and a very long journey to face. Along this journey, these women chalked up an extremely high death toll caused by attacks from Native Americans and other natural causes. They also were infected with diseases like smallpox and dysentery. They selflessly contributed to Western society by creating schools, churches, libraries, literary societies, and charitable groups. These women were so influential, they inspired the women's rights movement. Annie Bidwell was an incredible woman in our time. From 1839 to 1913, she displayed her personality through her selflessness and delightful acts, like how she encouraged the building of Chico's first church. Annie Bidwell and her husband, John Bidwell, moved to Chico's in 1868. She not only encouraged the church's building, but she was involved in the women's rights movement. One of these movements was the women's right to vote. Before her death, she donated large sums of money to the parks where she lived and travelers exploring just like she did. Another great example of a great pioneer woman was Biddy Mason. She was born enslaved. One day, her owner was taking her to California, and then he realized that in LA, slavery was illegal. So he tried to escape, but he was caught, and she was freed. She became a traveler aide and started a school for black children. What a wonderful woman. Want to explore, inspire, and connect closer to your family? Then becoming a pioneer woman is the best choice for your Louisiana stay. After this, we'll wrap this whole thing up. Well, the Louisiana Territory must be pretty amazing, huh? Right, come and see for yourself. I'm excited to see whether you choose to join the fun and adventurous mountain men or the honest, hard-working pioneer woman. No matter what you choose, your life will start fresh again and be filled with many new opportunities. And best of all, you'll be able to live life to the fullest. I would like to give a huge thanks to our Patreons, Jack, Tristan, and Spencer.